Welcome to 10 Career Questions. My name is Kevin Abnell, and I'm the Executive Director of the York County Alliance for Learning. This video is part of a series of interviews where we speak to various professionals working within each of the 16 nationally recognized career clusters. The purpose of this series is to get to know people working within each career cluster and to help promote a better understanding of various career paths. Resources like this video are intended to help promote career awareness and career exploration as students move closer to making important career decisions. This video series is presented in part by a grant from the FirstEnergy Foundation and a business education partnership grant provided by South Central PA Works. We thank both of these organizations for their support in helping YCAL continue to engage students with career education and development opportunities such as this video series. Today, we'll be speaking to someone who works within the manufacturing career cluster. This career cluster is focused on planning, managing, and performing the processing of materials into intermediate or final products. This cluster also includes the related professional and technical support activities such as production planning and control, maintenance and manufacturing, and process engineering. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to 10 Career Questions. We're going to get started. We'll hop in right with question number one. What is your name and who do you work for?
My name is Miranda Martz, and I work for a place called the Manufacturers Association of South Central Pennsylvania.
Awesome. Could you please describe your company a little bit more and also just the basic industry that you work in?
So the Manufacturers Association is basically on a mission to ensure the region's manufacturing can compete on a global scale. We exist to ensure that critical knowledge is preserved and expanded and shared with manufacturing professionals of tomorrow. We've been in business since 1906, and we've been a voice for hundreds of our member organizations and partners in South Central PA and parts of Northern Maryland, including big names such as Hershey, Hers, Harley-Davidson, whose industries may differ, but the basic needs and concepts don't. And we support manufacturers with the knowledge that they need to operate and hire and train smarter.
Awesome. Now, at the Manufacturers Association, what is your job title and what are you responsible for?
So I am what's called a pre-apprenticeship coordinator. I'm in charge of scheduling classes for the students, as well as coordinating plant tours, giving them an opportunity to job shadow, as well as participate in mock interviews, internships, help them with job placement as well. So when they come through our program, we set them up to do the pre-apprenticeship and then move on to hopefully the apprenticeship through our company.
Great. Now, in terms of working in the industry, like how long have you worked in this industry and what were some of the past roles or past jobs you've had before you started where you're at now?
So I've been working in the industry for over a decade now. I started off at the bottom, working at one machine that makes magnet systems. I started on a hone machine as a hone operator. And I worked my way up. There's different tiers in manufacturing. So I worked my way up from being a machinist one, running in something called a ring cell. And I learned all the machines in the ring cell, and then eventually moved up to making mechanical inspections and inspection reports. And then once I did that, I went to another shift to learn a different part of manufacturing, which was CNC machining. The company sent me to classes, Haas classes actually, to learn mill and lathe. So I started on a CNC machine there. And then I took my career to a place called Tate Towers. I got my foot in the door by my mother. She works as a seamstress at Tate Towers. So I started over there part-time, working on a sewing machine until I was approached by the lead of the machine shop. And he had offered me a job in their machine shop once he found out that I wasn't a journeyman machinist at that point, but I had started machining. So I went over there and learned on some of their CNC machines. And then I eventually learned how to program the machines, set them up, make fixturing, and then I learned how to program as well. So I went from the bottom and went all the way to the top, and became a lead of that area. and they had about 7 or 8 CNC machines. So then I started to design my own stuff, make solids, and then start to machine from start to finish. So that's how I started my career. And the throughout my career, I did training as well. So I went to the Carpenter Corporation and I learned metallurgy for the non-metallurgist. And then Tate offered me and afforded me the opportunity to become part of the Manufacturers Association as apprentice. So I learned through them and went through their journeyman apprenticeship.
Great. So my next question, you've actually answered some of it already, which is going to be what kind of training or education did you get to get to where your job is now? So I guess if we could maybe take a step back even further, then what kind of training did you get, I guess, before you graduated high school? Like maybe like while you were in high school, is there anything that you went through that helped you prepare to get this, to get your foot in the door, so to speak?
So unfortunately, where I went to high school, for me, there wasn't really much of an opportunity. I had taken classes that were given to me, like home ec classes and stuff like that. And I really had wished that I had gone to a high school like that they have nowadays with some of these amazing shops and these teachers, these mentors in these schools. I didn't get that. I kind of was given the direction of you're going to a 4-year school. And I was like, okay, well, this just doesn't feel right. And they're like, just give it a try. And I was willing to try. And I went to a place called the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I went for industrial design technology because I knew I wanted to make something. I knew I love cars because my family were mechanics. So I went into their auto track to design and make cars for a living. And then when I was there, I knew it wasn't for me. It didn't fit. I didn't really fit in at the school. There wasn't anybody that really wanted to do exactly what I wanted to do. So I ended up coming home from the school and ended up getting a job at the first place that I started manufacturing at. So then once I started to get to the manufacturing facility is when I started to get certifications, and they really afforded me the opportunity to learn and to grow and to get skills because they wanted me to succeed. And so they sent me to the Carpenter Corporation, like I had said, and they sent me to Haas classes. I also got certified for Eaton Aerospace and Babcock and Wilcox, which are some of the big names in military and electronics and stuff like that. So when I really got into my first job, manufacturing job, is when I really got the knowledge and the skills and had some mentors there as well to teach me manufacturing.
Great. We focus so much, especially manufacturing, we talk about the technical skills so much and the training, but what are some, in your opinion, what are some of the personality traits or maybe the personality characteristics of people that are successful in your industry or in your field?
Well, for me, success was proving somebody wrong. Since I was young, I definitely was looked on upon differently in manufacturing. You know, they seen this girl that said that she could do this and that, you know, maybe they didn't have the confidence in me and I didn't have the confidence in myself. But you have to be adaptable. I showed them that I had skills and I had knowledge and I could respect the trade and manufacturing. There's new ways of doing things, new technology and manufacturing all the time. And you have to be adaptable and you have to bring in your own persistence and your own passion. Passion is huge. If you don't have your heart into it, if you don't believe in yourself, it's something that makes you grow as a person, makes your skills grow. You know, necessity is the mother of invention. And if you have a way of making something easier for somebody or yourself, or you see a need that needs filled, that's pretty much what makes you successful in your field, is being able to fill a need, use your talents, use your knowledge, be able to grow and absorb information like a sponge and just really make it unique to yourself, because that's what manufacturing needs, is people to come in and show their skills and to grow, and for the next generation to see that we need you because the future is now and you are the future. And that's something that is really close to my heart. And why I feel like I'm successful is because I want to pass on the success that I had to the next generation, to the next makers that may not believe in themselves, but there are people behind your back 100%. There are people there to push you forward and to really make you understand that you're an asset and you are valuable. So really believing in yourself, being persistent, wanting to grow and learning and absorbing is really what makes you successful. Really does.
Right. I feel like we're starting to get into my next question. This is just funny how this kind of segues in sometimes, but what would you say is the best part about your job?
So I've only been a pre-apprenticeship coordinator for about a month now. I started in the beginning of December, but I really was before just a maker. But now that I'm in it, in the pre-apprenticeship coordination, it really kind of makes me understand why I'm in the industry that I am. I've come up through the ranks. I started off being who I was and just knowing that I knew what I liked. And even though I had obstacles and things like that, I didn't let it stop. I didn't stop. So the best part of my job is the kids and being able to mentor them and show them that they're needed and that they're valuable. I don't want something that I love and something that I believe in to die. I don't want it to die off. And there's this whole generation of knowledge and skills and, that we need to keep. It's the practicality of it. The very core of manufacturing and machining isn't what we need to change. What we need to change is growing with technology and growing into things that we need into it that adapt into our society right now. So I enjoy seeing that light, that spark, to build a fire in somebody. You need that spark and that fuel, and mentoring and having somebody there that understands them. I didn't have that for a big part of my life. And, that's a big passion project of mine, is having somebody to push you and to guide you. So that is the best part of my job right now, is just being able to support and teach and see these kids get an opportunity that I never had.
That's great. And again, just working in education in general, that's the great part, is when you see people that you've somehow helped kind of go off and start their career and just do awesome things. So
Yeah, that's a feeling that you will not get everywhere. And
Yep.
just seeing that light in their eyes is pretty much what keeps me going.
That's great. Now, don't want to focus on the negative, but I would then need to ask, what's the most challenging part about your job, or maybe just the biggest challenge in the industry? You can take it either way you want.
So I think one of the biggest parts and challenges of manufacturing is just this ingrained stigma of what manufacturing and machining really is. It's not just what students think, but what parents tell the students and what parents think. If you walk up to somebody on the street and you ask them what manufacturing is, there is that automatic thought that it's some kind of unconditioned shop or some kind of dirty manufacturing facility. And I want people to really understand what it is and stop having that stigma. There are so many different paths in manufacturing. You can go from concept and design to being an artist and making the next big thing or the next big building. It takes a lot of skills and a lot of different ways of looking at things. And I don't think people understand that. People don't understand what manufacturing really is. So I think that stigma, as well as, people thinking, that they don't have the skills to be a manufacturer, to be a machinist. And so those thoughts, I think, are what is plaguing manufacturing right now. and like there's so many different paths. Like I said, you can make things with your hands for a living. You can design things for a living. You can conceptualize. You can become an engineer. It's not just working in a shop and dirty tools, but you can also do that with diesel mechanics, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's kind of where I started and where I wanted to go, but that's not where I ended up. So thinking that you're going to be stuck in something or pigeonholed for the rest of your life, that idea is absolutely not true. And as things grow and we get into virtual reality and 3D printing and some really, really cool things, I want people to really imagine like sky's the limit for them, that they could be part of something huge. They could make the next, Tesla, or, they could make the next, the world's largest building. Like that's all part of manufacturing, and everything that you touch and use every day has been manufactured and thought of and touched by somebody. So you could be the next big maker, or, the next big designer. I want them to just grow and expand their minds instead of being pigeonholed and thinking that something is finite and, oh, you're going to stay in one job forever. Well, that's not the case. So if I could change anything, it would be those stigmas.
Yeah, and that's definitely something we've been working on with manufacturing for many years, and it is really more of an issue with a previous, we'll just say a previous generation, and the way things can be presented. But yeah, I can say I've been in some very well lit and incredibly clean manufacturing.
Oh, absolutely,
facilities.
yeah.
I can't remember.
They're beautiful.
They're
gorgeous. Yeah. They're like works of art, some of them.
Yeah, seriously. So on that note, for someone, assuming most people watching this are going to be in sort of the high school student range, in the next, let's just say 1 to 5 years, so even if they choose to go and pursue a 4-year degree, what do you think the career outlook is looking like in manufacturing for the next 1 to 5 years?
There is no doubt in my mind that the future is now. There is next 1 to 5 years is growth. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to need skilled people. You can see it in the supply chains and the way that COVID has affected the world nowadays. You can see it with just in the trucking industry and stuff like that. You can see it in your local grocery store. People are needed. And in manufacturing, that's the same thing. And right now, just in York County alone, there's 11,000 manufacturing jobs that we need to fill. Like I had said, it affects everybody. You can't go down the street without seeing, help wanted signs at these companies. So there's a threat of like impending loss of just not the knowledge, but loss of some of the things that you take for granted every day, and a collapse. So I don't want to see the companies that I love closing left and right, and I'm sure you don't either. And as far as staff and being able to hire, that will continue in our future if we don't change something. So my job really as the pre-apprenticeship coordinator just rolls into the fact that we just need students and people that have the skills out in the workforce today, and really, like, they want you, they need you. So I 100% think within the next 1 to 5 years, like, it's just going to grow. We're going to have, if we have 11,000 this year, I'm sure it'll be 20 or 30 or 40 in the next 1 to 5 years. So it's growing, especially as a generation dies off and we have those positions to fill as well.
So that brings us to our 10th and final question. This can be a little bit of a tough one here, but I'll kind of give you a chance to give some parting advice. The question is, what is the one piece of advice you would give a high school student who might be looking to get into this industry?
If you have any sort of skill or knowledge or want or desire to really show somebody that, yes, this is what I want to do, or even if you're not decided, but you're interested, all it takes is, like I said, that little bit of spark. I know from the beginning, I would honestly tell them, I was in their shoes. I was not knowing what to do when I was younger. I would take things apart and put them back together. I didn't know I wanted to be a maker, but I know I like to tinker with things. So I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it was really unfair at the time that I didn't really feel supported. So find one person. All it does is it takes one person to believe in you, to believe in your skills, to tell that you are valid and your thoughts are valid. Especially, if you don't exactly fit into the mold, I guess, because that was me. I didn't fit into a mold and I wasn't supported and I was told no. And I was very stubborn. I guess I'm still very stubborn and I don't like being told no and I like proving people wrong. And that's kind of what propelled me. And find a mentor, especially if, you're a young girl and you don't know what it's like, come find me, come find a teacher, come find a counselor. And really, we can tell you what it's going to be like and we can guide you and put you with a group of like-minded people, and put you with people that care, and know what you're going through. And then we can put other little girls and other little boys together, and really start to form your own community, of manufacturers and makers. And I promise you the support and the help. There's people everywhere willing to help and to give their time, for you, and to not give up and to believe in yourself. Really, I have this hard time having the confidence in myself most days, and confidence isn't something that you start out with, but it grows over time. And I promise you, just believe in yourself. There are plenty of people out there that believe in you, and believe in your skills, and just want to see you grow and succeed. So that's pretty much what I would tell somebody that's wanting to get into manufacturing or doesn't even know if they're interested. Just try it. If you fail, there's always somebody there that'll pick you back up, or you can always do something else, but just try it and give it a chance, because if you don't, it could be one of the biggest regrets of your life. Don't do it because you don't think there's not money in it, because there really is. It can be lucrative, and it's fun. Believe it or not, it is fun. There are a lot of fun things that you can do, and a lot of really cool things and satisfaction you get out of things that you make and see that help others, and really just gives you gratification. And that's what keeps me going, is seeing things that I've made and getting that gratifying feeling. So don't pigeonhole yourself and don't think that you don't have a future, because there are a ton of people here that are waiting for you in manufacturing, and willing to push you, and make you successul.
Awesome. Well, Miranda, I'm glad you were stubborn, or glad you are stubborn.
Me too.
You stayed in this industry, because I really appreciate all the work you do. But mostly, I just want to thank you for joining us today. You're sharing the insights of your career and your history, and I'm certain that's going to be helpful to any students who might be interested in pursuing this manufacturing career. So thank you so much for speaking with us today, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.